The news broke on a Tuesday, just as the city was waking up. The air was crisp and the streets were still quiet, but the world was about to be shaken from its routine. German billionaire attempts to buy hospital for one nurse. The words blazed across screens and front pages. Impossible to ignore. The headlines spread instantly, leaping from newspapers to smartphones, from whispered conversations to viral social media posts, leaving people everywhere stunned and bewildered. Klaus von Schroeder, a man known for power and logic, was making a move that defied all reason. He was a figure of influence, accustomed to making headlines for his business deals, not for acts of emotion. This wasn't about money, it was about what money couldn't buy. No amount of wealth could explain the motivation behind this act. The world wanted to know why. What could drive a billionaire to such an extraordinary gesture? Speculation ran wild and curiosity grew by the hour. Reporters swarmed Munich General Hospital, searching for answers, their cameras flashing, their microphones ready, hoping to uncover the truth behind the headline. Was it love, madness, or something else entirely? People argued in cafes, on trains and online, each with their own theory about the billionaire's motives. The truth was simpler, far simpler than anyone imagined. It was about kindness, about a connection that quietly changed everything, unnoticed by the world until now. The story began quietly, in a hospital room filled with soft morning light, with a gentle smile and a simple question. "How are you feeling today, Mr. von Schroeder?" He'd heard it 1,000 times before, but this time, it felt different. There was genuine care in the nurse's voice, a warmth that reached past his defenses. For the first time in years, someone truly wanted to know the answer. It was a moment of real human connection, rare and precious. That moment would change everything. It was the spark that set off a chain of events no one could have predicted. And the world watched, captivated, as a simple act of kindness became the story that no one could stop talking about. Klaus von Schroeder was a man who once commanded boardrooms and shaped empires, now reduced to a patient in a hospital gown, his world suddenly small and unfamiliar. The vastness of his influence had shrunk to 4 sterile walls, the hum of machines, and the quiet ticking of a clock. The power he once wielded now seemed distant, almost like a dream. Then, Angelica Reyes entered his life, an unassuming nurse from the Philippines, thousands of miles from her own family, carrying warmth and resilience in her gentle smile. She treated Klaus not as a legend or a headline, but as a person in pain, a man facing his own vulnerability. Her care was quiet, her presence steady, a calm in the storm of his uncertainty. She fluffed his pillow, lingered after her shifts, and shared stories of mango trees, sunlit villages, and the laughter of children back home, painting pictures of a world far from the hospital's cold sterility. Klaus, a man always surrounded by people yet always alone, found himself opening up in ways he never had before. He spoke of regrets and sorrows, of choices made and opportunities lost. She listened without judgment, her silence offering more comfort than words ever could. Their bond grew in small, unremarkable moments, shared silences, gentle reassurances, and the simple act of being present. She brought warmth into his cold world, a sense of home he hadn't felt in years. He was the billionaire. She was the nurse. But in that room, stripped of titles and expectations, they were simply 2 people sharing a fragile moment in time. For the first time, Klaus felt truly seen, not for his wealth or reputation, but for the person he was beneath it all. Her presence became his anchor, a steady hand to hold as he navigated the uncertainty of illness and the fear of what lay ahead. He looked forward to her shifts, counting the hours until she returned, and dreaded the emptiness of her absence. She asked for nothing in return, gave everything she could, and expected no recognition for her kindness. In her, he found the rarest thing, genuine human connection, a bond that transcended wealth, status, and circumstance. The value of her presence eclipsed all his wealth, teaching him that true riches are found in compassion and understanding. She was not there for his money or reputation. She was simply there, offering her care and her heart, and that changed everything for Klaus. The walls of his room no longer felt like a prison, but a place of healing and hope. In her care, he rediscovered hope, a hope that had nothing to do with power or fortune, but everything to do with being truly seen and cared for. Klaus's illness was relentless, a rare neurological disorder that defied every treatment. Specialists came and went, offering little more than clinical detachment. Klaus felt invisible, reduced to a case file. The pain was constant, the loneliness worse. His empire meant nothing here. He was powerless. Days blurred into monotony. Hope faded. Then Angelica arrived, not with charts, but with compassion. She saw the man behind the illness, she brought water, asked how he was, and listened. Her care was not in any medical textbook. She treated his spirit, not just his symptoms. Slowly, Klaus began to respond, not to medicine, but to kindness. The doctors saw minor improvements. Klaus knew the real reason. Angelica's presence was the medicine he needed most. She gave him a reason to fight, and for the first time, he believed he might win. Angelica's care was revolutionary in its simplicity. She learned his preferences, brought small comforts, and made him feel seen. Her gentle touch eased his pain more than any drug. She read to him, brought a plant, and filled his room with life. Her humility and empathy were her greatest strengths. Klaus began to eat, sit up, and even smile. The doctors credited new medications, but Klaus knew better. He fought harder, not for himself, but for her. Her presence was his motivation. She reminded him of beauty and kindness, even in suffering. Angelica's care was the true medicine. His body followed where his spirit led. He looked forward to her every visit. Her absence left him adrift. She was the light in his darkest days. Hospitals run on rules, not emotions. Nurses rotate, attachments are discouraged. Angelica's rotation was ending. She'd be moved to pediatrics. Klaus was devastated. He pleaded with administrators, offered donations, tried to hire her privately. The answer was always no. Policies were unyielding. Angelica was just another nurse to them. They couldn't see she was his lifeline. As her transfer neared, Klaus's health declined. The pain returned, hope faded. He refused other nurses, withdrew into himself. The system's impartiality became cruelty. Klaus, used to solving any problem, was powerless. The hospital was about to take away the only treatment that worked. He knew losing Angelica meant losing his will to fight. Desperation set in. He was running out of options. Desperation drove Klaus to the unthinkable. If he couldn't change the rules, he'd change the hospital. He ordered his team buy the hospital. The offer stunned everyone, far above market value, with promises of new facilities and endowments. One condition: Angelica must remain his nurse. The board was thrown into chaos, news leaked, and the world was riveted. Was this power, madness, or love? Klaus didn't care about logistics or cost. He was fighting for the only thing that mattered: human connection. The story exploded. Could money buy the priceless? The world watched, breathless. The board deliberated, torn between ethics and opportunity. Klaus waited, hope and fear mingling. His vulnerability was on display for all to see. He had used his last weapon, his wealth. Now, he could only wait. Klaus's desperation was rooted in childhood loss. Even as a small boy, the cold echo of empty corridors haunted him, the silence pressing in from all sides. He learned early that life could change in a moment, and that love could vanish without warning. He lost his mother young, in a cold hospital much like this one. The memory of her frail hand slipping from his lingered for years, a wound that never truly healed. Hospitals became places of both hope and heartbreak for him. That pain shaped his life. He built walls, chased success, but remained empty. No matter how high he climbed or how much he achieved, the emptiness inside him only grew. The city lights outside his window were bright, but his world remained shadowed by loss. Love equaled pain, so he kept everyone at arm's length. He became skilled at avoiding intimacy, convincing himself he didn't need anyone. But deep down, he longed for the warmth he'd once known, even as he recoiled from it. Now, illness stripped away his defenses. Lying in a hospital bed, he was forced to confront the vulnerability he'd spent a lifetime hiding from. The walls he'd built began to crumble, leaving him exposed and afraid. Memories of loneliness and helplessness returned. The sterile smell, the distant sounds of footsteps, all brought him back to that childhood moment of loss. He realized he was still that lonely boy, waiting for comfort that never came. Angelica's care echoed the comfort he'd lost as a child. Her gentle presence, her quiet understanding, offered a sense of safety he hadn't felt in decades. She became a lifeline, a reminder that kindness still existed. It wasn't romance, but a deep, primal need for connection. In her company he found solace, a silent understanding that words could never express. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to hope. Losing her felt like losing his mother again. The fear of abandonment resurfaced, raw and overwhelming. Each goodbye echoed the pain of his childhood, threatening to reopen old wounds. His attempt to buy the hospital was about more than a nurse. It was about not losing the only warmth he'd found in decades. It was a desperate bid to hold on to the one person who made him feel alive, to keep the darkness at bay. He was fighting to keep the ghost of his mother from leaving him once more. Every gesture, every memory, was a battle against the emptiness that threatened to consume him. In Angelica, he found the antidote to a lifetime of loneliness. Her compassion was a balm, soothing the ache he'd carried for so long. She gave him a reason to believe in connection again, and he couldn't bear to lose it. For Klaus, losing Angelica meant losing the last fragile thread tying him to hope, to love, and to the possibility of healing. The board rejected Klaus's offer, but public pressure forced the hospital to reconsider. Quietly, they kept Angelica on his floor. With her presence secured, true healing began. Klaus opened up about his past, his regrets, his estranged son. Angelica listened, encouraged him to reconnect, and slowly, father and son rebuilt their relationship. In that hospital room, a family was restored. Klaus found peace, not from a cure, but from connection. His pain lessened, his spirit healed. He learned strength in vulnerability, wealth in love. Angelica had not just saved his will to live, she taught him how to live. The greatest healing was of the heart. Angelica faced a choice: fame and fortune, or compassion. She chose to stay, not for money, but for friendship. Her loyalty moved Klaus more than any grand gesture. He honored her by founding a charity in her name, funding nursing scholarships and clinics in the Philippines. His legacy became one of kindness, not wealth. Klaus passed away peacefully, with his son and Angelica by his side. His story became a modern fable. It showed that empires can't heal a wounded spirit. True change comes from simple acts of connection. In the end, Klaus discovered the one thing money can't buy: genuine, selfless kindness. Angelica's compassion changed his life and countless others. That was his true legacy.